Hello students, let's do revision this time in decimal fractions. So I have all the questions here for you. I would like you to first work it out and then check it with the work that we are doing here. So question 1. Convert the given decimal fractions to fractions in their lowest terms. So what we're given here is a decimal fraction. We have to make it a regular fraction with a numerator and a denominator. And after you make it a fraction, you have to reduce it to the lowest term. So remember to read your question completely till the end. So let's begin with this. So here we have 0.7. As you can see, there is only one digit after the point. So when you make it a fraction, you have to give it a denominator 10 or a higher power of 10. So depending on how many digits there are after the point, you put that many zeros. So there is only one number, one digit after the point. So that means our numerator is going to be 7 and our denominator is going to be 10. 10 because there's only one digit after the point here, so this should be only 1 0. So 7 by 10 is a fraction. Now, can we reduce this to the lower term? We cannot reduce it, so this is our final answer. The next one, so let's remove the point and write 245 when we remove the point. Now, we're going to give this a denominator which is 10 or a higher power of 10, so we start with 1. Now look at your question. After the point, there are two digits. So you must have two zeros in your denominator. So this becomes 245 by 100. Question 2. Convert the given fractions to decimal fractions. So now we've been given fractions and we make it a decimal fraction with a decimal point. So let's do that. So what we do is we take the numerator and write it as a whole number. Now we look at the denominator, there's 1 0. That means we should have one decimal place. After the point, there should be one digit. So for a whole number, the point is usually after the number. For all whole numbers, the point is after the number. So if I have to divide it by 10, my point will move one place to the left. So my point will move from here to here. So what do I get here? I get 0.9, and since I don't have a whole number before that, I make it 0.9. So let's do the second one. Now here second one, it says 13 by 10 to the power of 5. That means 1 followed by 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now again we take 13, write it as a whole number. Now we need to move the point 5 places to the left. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we put a point. That means in all these missing places we have to put zeros. So what is our final answer? 0.00013. Now the third one, 45 by 1000. So we take 45, write it as a whole number. Now we check how many zeros there are. 1, 2, 3. So our point moves 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, and then I put a point. So this becomes 0. So what's our final answer? 0.045. Now the next one here, 3 7 by 10. Let's take only 7 by 10 first. So I'll write the whole number 7, and then there is 1 0 here. So my point moves one place to the left and comes here. So here what do I get? 0.7. But if you see, we have a whole number 3. So we make it 3.7. So this is our final answer, 3.7. Question 5, we're going to continue to change them to decimal fractions. So once again, you work out everything on your own first and then check your answer. Now, as you can see, now in all these questions, the denominator is not 10 or a higher power of 10. We have 25, then we have 4, we have 125, we have 40. So if a fraction has a denominator which is not 10 or a higher power of 10, we have to change it to 10 or a higher power of 10. Now 25, we can't change it to 10, isn't it? We have to change it to a higher power. So I can multiply 25 by 4. When I multiply 25 by 4, I get 100. Similarly, I should multiply 6 also by 4. 6 4s are 24. So I've got 24 by 100. Now it's a fraction. I'm going to make it a decimal number. So I write 24, the whole number as it is. Then check the zeros. There are 2. So my point moves 2 places to the left and comes here. So my final answer here will be 0.24. So this is my final answer. Now going to question 6, my denominator is 4. Now I have to make it 10, which I can't. 4 into nothing will give me 10, or I can make it 100. Yes, 4 into 25, just like this. 25 into 4 or 4 into 25 will give us 100. So here I can multiply by 25. So let's do that. Multiply this by 25. That means we have to multiply the numerator also by 25. So here what do we get? 25 into 3 is 75 and 25 into 4 is 100. Now I can change this to a decimal number. So let me write my whole number numerator as my whole number. Now check the number of zeros. There are 2. So point has to move 2 places to the left and come here. So what's my final answer? 0.75. So if you have a decimal number, a fraction which doesn't have the denominator 10 or a higher power of 10, first change it to a higher power of 10. So here we have 19 by 40. Now 4 into 25 gave you 100. So 40 into 25 will give us 1000. So let's multiply by 25 here also. So into 25. So multiply here also by 25. So 19 into 25. Let's multiply 19 into 25. 5 nines are 45, carry 4. 5 ones are 5 plus 4 is 9. Second step, 2 nines are 18, carry 1. 2 ones are 2 plus 1, 3. So now let's add this up. 5, 9 plus 8 is 17, carry 1. This is 3 plus 1, 4. So here we have, in the numerator, we have 475, and in the denominator, 40 into 25 is 1000. So now we take the numerator, write it by itself. We check the denominator. There are 3 zeros. So there should be 3 decimal places. So the point comes there. So our final answer here is 0.475. So this is the final answer. Question 8, 13 by 125. Now 125 should be converted into 10 or a higher power of 10, isn't it? So we need to multiply this by a particular number, and the number is 8. When you multiply 125 into 8, you get 1000. So let's multiply this also by 8. So what do we get? 13 into 8. 8 threes are 24, carry 2. 8 ones are 8, 9, 10. So here we have 104. And 125 into 8 is 1000. So now let's take the numerator and write it separately. Let's look at the number of zeros in the denominator. So 3 zeros, so 3 places. 1, 2, 3, and the point comes here. So our answer here is 0.104. So this is our final answer. Question 3. So work out all the questions and then check your answers with this. Question 3. Write the number of decimal places in the following. Decimal places is how many digits there are after the point. So here after the point we have 1, 2, 3. The answer is simply 3. So there are 3 decimal places. Now in question 2, 1, 2. There are 2 decimal places. So the answer is 2. Question 4. Change the given unlike decimals to like decimals. Why are these called unlike decimals? Because the number of decimal places are all different. So here the number of decimal places is 1. Here we have 1, 2, 3, and here we have 1, 2. That's why they're called unlike decimals. Now, if we have to change them to like decimals, they should all have the same number of decimal places. So first look for the number which has the maximum number of decimal places. It is this number. It has 3 decimal places. So we have to change the other 2 numbers also so that they have 3 decimal places. Now how do we do that? Let's take the first one, 4, 0.8. It has only 1. Now I need to make it 3 decimal places. I just have to add 2 zeros. Second one will remain as it is. Now the third one, 0.25, has 2 decimal places. When I add a 0, it will now have 3 decimal places. Now you can see all 3 numbers are called like decimals because they have the same number of decimal places. Question 2. Now look for the number that has the maximum number of decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this has the maximum number of decimal places. So that number can be written as it is, 7.00809. Let's take the next one, 37.65. It should have 5 decimal places because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 in the previous number. Here we have only 2. So to make it 5, we add 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. So now there are totally 5 decimal places. Let's take the last number, 8.1, 2, 3 and 4. This has 4 decimal places. So if I add 1 zero, it will now have 5 decimal places. So now I have changed unlike decimals to like decimals. Question 5, add the following. So complete your addition and then check the answer. First step is arranging them. Okay, so 5.492. Then we have 16.7. Then 0.725. Okay, this is the first thing you do. Arrange them all like this. Now you have to make them all like decimals. That is, we're going to see that they all have the same number of decimal places. Now they all have the same number of decimal places. Now we can do normal addition. 2 plus 5 is 7. Then 9 plus 2 is 11. We carry 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 plus 7 is 19. Carry 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. Carry 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have 22.917. Next question, 48. This one is simply 48. It's a whole number. So let's write it by itself. Then we have 7.4. 7 is a whole number part. 0.4. Then 33.792 and 0.096. So we have these numbers. We've arranged them. Now we have to make them like decimals. Now this 48 is a whole number, so it's always before a point. So make them like decimals. They should all have 3 decimal places. So 0, 0 and 0. 7 will have 2 decimal places. All the others have 3. So totally now they're all like decimals with 3 decimal places. Now let's do normal addition. 2 plus 6 is 8. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. Carry 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. Carry 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. So 89.288. Subtract the following. So similarly, just like addition, first step is arranging it. So we're going to arrange this properly. So that is 5.1, 5.1 and 0.842, 842 minus. Now we have to make them like decimals. So 0 and 0. So now let's begin our subtraction. Now 0 minus 2 we can't do, so we borrow from here. This becomes 0. This is 10, 9, 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 4 is 5. Then we have 0, so we need to borrow again. So this becomes 4 and this is 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. Then we have the point. Then 4 minus 0 is 4. Question 2. Here also we have a whole number 38. So the point will come after the number. Next one is 21.65. Now to subtract the 2, first we finish the arranging. Now we have to make them like decimals. Now let's subtract. 0 minus 5 you can't do, so we're going to borrow from here. 10, 9, 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 6 is 3. Then put the point. 7 minus 1 is 6. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So what did we get as our answer? 16.35. Question 3. Now we're going to subtract this number from this number. So whenever we have this word from, remember the second number comes first. So we're going to write 46 first. 46 point. And then we'll see how many zeros we need to put. So this is 8.139. Now let's subtract the 2. Minus. Now we have to make them like decimals by putting 3 zeros. Now we need to borrow. 0 minus 9 you can't do, so we borrow from 6, so that becomes 5. 9 here, 10, 9, and again 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 1 is 8. Put the point. Now 5 minus 8 you can't do, so we borrow again. So this becomes 3 and this is 15. 15 minus 8 is 7, and then we have 3. 37.861. Question 4 also, subtract this number from this number. So 12.8 comes first. So let's write it down. 12.8. Below this we write 9.477. Subtract. Now make them like decimals. Now let's borrow 10, 9, 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. 9 minus 7 is 2. 7 minus 4 is 3. Put the point. Now here again we need to borrow. So this is 0 and 12. 12 minus 9 is 3. So what do we get? 3.323. Question 7. Subtract this number from the sum of this. So sum of these two means first we need to add these two and subtract this number from that answer. So first we need to find the sum of these two. So let's find the sum. Finding the sum means adding. So 1.9 plus 7.94. So first we need to add. So let's do the addition. So let's make them like decimals. 0 plus 4 is 4. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 7 is 9. So we've got 9.84. Let's write that down. 9.84. And from this we have to subtract this number. That is 5.298. So subtract this. So put the 0 to make them like decimals. Now 0 minus 8 we can't do. Let's borrow from here. So 10 minus 8 is 2. Now 3 we have. Again we can't subtract. So we're going to borrow. 13 minus 9 is 4. 7 minus 2 is 5. And 9 minus 5 is 4. So what is our answer? 4.542. So we need to write this answer separately because we have two steps. So we have to write the final answer separately. 4.542. Question 8. By how much does the sum of these two numbers exceed the sum of these two numbers? That means this answer is more than this, isn't it? So first we add up these two numbers, get an answer, add up these two numbers, get an answer, and subtract the two answers. So let's begin with the first part. So we have 21.49 plus 5.387. So we need to add up these, we need to find the sum. So what do we have here? 0 plus 7 is 7, 9 plus 8 is 17, carry 1, 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8. 1 plus 5 is 6, and here we have 2. So we finished finding the sum of these two. Now let's find the sum of these two numbers. So that is 14.632 and 0.159. So let's add this up. 2 plus 9 is 11, carry 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. 6 plus 1 is 7. Then we have 4 and we have 1. So now we have two answers. Let's subtract the two answers. 26.877 and 14.791. So these two answers we're going to subtract. The first two steps were addition. Third step is subtraction. So let's do that. 7 minus 1 is 6. Now 7 minus 9 you can't do, so let's borrow. 17 minus 9 is 8. 7 minus 7 is 0. 6 minus 4 is 2 and 2 minus 1 is 1. So our final answer is 12.086. So let's write this down as our final answer, 12.086. Question 9, multiply. So now we are doing multiplication of decimal numbers. So when we multiply decimal numbers, let's ignore the point first and multiply. So if I ignore the point, I get 735 into 26. So let's ignore the point and multiply first, and then we'll put back the point. 6 5s are 30, carry 3. 6 3s are 18, 19, 20, 21, carry 2. 6 7s are 42 plus 2, 44. Now second step, 2 5s are 10, carry 1. 2 3s are 6 plus 1, 7. 2 7s are 14. So we've got this. Now let's add this up. 0, 1, 4 plus 7 is 11 again, carry 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9, and then we have 1. So this is the number we have. Now let's go back to our question. Now see how many decimal places there are. 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 here, and here we have 1. So totally there are 4 decimal places. That means our answer also should have 4 decimal places. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the point comes here. So let's write down our final answer, 1.9110. So this is our final answer. We can also ignore the 0 that is right at the end and simply say 1.911. Let's go to the next one. So here there are 3 numbers to be multiplied. So let's multiply the first 2 numbers, get an answer, and then multiply the third number. So that is 23, I'm ignoring the point and multiplying, into 31. So 1 3s are 3, 1 2s are 2. Then second step, 3 3s are 9, 3 2s are 6. So here we get 3, 2 plus 9 is 11, carry 1, 1 plus 6 is 7. So I've got 713. Let me go back and check the decimal places as 1 plus 1, 2. My answer also should have 2 decimal places. So here my answer is 7.13. I'm going to use that to multiply 4.3. So I'm going to multiply 7.13 into 4.3. Ignore the point, 713. Ignore the point again, 43. Now let's multiply. 3 3s are 9, 3 1s are 3, 3 7s are 21. Second step, 4 3s are 12, carry 1, 4 1s are 4 plus 1, 5, 4 7s are 28. Now let's add up this. 9, 3 plus 2 is 5, 1 plus 5 is 6, 2 plus 8 is 10, carry 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. So we've got this number. Now let's go back to our question. There are 2 decimal places here and there is 1 decimal place here. 2 plus 1 is 3. So our answer also there should be 3. So 1, 2, 3, the point comes here. So what do we get here? 30.659. So the final answer to this question is this, 30.659. Question 10. Multiply 5.2 by 10, 100 and 1000. So 5.2 into 10, 5.2 into 100 and 5.2 into 1000. Now when we multiply by 10, 100 and 1000, we simply have to move our decimal point to the right, depending on the number of zeros. So here we have 1 0, a point will move 1 place to the right. So this becomes 52.0 or simply 52. Now here 5.2 into 100, 2 zeros, so the point has to move 2 places to the right and has to come here. So in this place I need to put a 0. So that becomes 520.0 or 520. Multiplication by 1000, 3 zeros, 3 places, 1, 2, 3. So there are 2 missing numbers, 2 zeros. So that becomes 5200.0 or 5200 only. Question 11 is evaluate, and this is division. So when you have division of a decimal number by a whole number, this is a whole number, it's not a decimal number. You do normal division when it's like this. If your divisor, this is your divisor. If that is a whole number, you do normal division. So let's begin. So that is 7.68 divided by 6. Normal division. So now we're going to divide 7.68 by 6. 6 ones are 6 minus 1. Now this point we have to carry it up and bring down the next digit here. So the number is 16. 6 twos are 12 minus 4. Bring down the next number 8. 6 eights are 48 minus. So here our answer here is 1.28. So when it's division by a whole number, it becomes normal division. Now let's go on to the next sum. 30.58 divided by 22. So 30.58 divided by 22. So 22 ones are 22 minus, now here we need to borrow, so this becomes 2 and 10. 10 minus 2 is 8 and here 0. Now there is a point in which we need to carry up. We bring down 5. Now 22 into what will give us a number close to 85. So that is 22 into 3. Let's see, 3 twos are 6, 3 twos are 6. Now if we do 22 into 4, we get 4 twos are 8 and again 4 twos are 8. And 88 is greater, so we have to use 66. So 22 threes are 66. Now let's subtract. So here we borrow again. So this becomes 7 and this is 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. 7 minus 6 is 1 and then I bring down 8. Now 198 divided by 22. So now let's see 22 into, let's try 9. 9 twos are 18, carry 1. 9 twos are 18 plus 1, 19. So we're getting 198 itself. So 22 into 9 is 198. So when you subtract, you get 0. So our final answer here is 1.39. So this is our final answer. Question 3. Here we have a decimal number divided by another decimal number. So both are decimal numbers. So our divisor should be a whole number. So first step is we have to convert this to a whole number. So how do we do that? When you get a question like this, write it as a fraction. So let's begin. So first thing is I'm going to write it as a fraction, 16.898 divided by 3.4. Now the divisor is 3.4 and I need to make it a whole number. Whole number means it's going to become 34. How does it become 34? Only if I move the point like this by one place. And the point can move by one place to the right only if I multiply it by 10. So I'm going to multiply this by 10. That means multiply this also by 10. So here also the point will move one place. So what do I get now? My new question will be 168.98 divided by 34. So now it's normal division. Let's do that. 168.98 divided by 34. So now let's multiply 34 into 4 and get a number close to 168. 4 fours are 16, carry 1. 4 threes are 12 plus 1, 13. So let's write that 4, that is 136 minus 8 minus 6 is 2, 6 minus 3 is 3. Now I bring down 9. I need to carry the point up. So this point which is here is now carried up. Now my number is 329. I need to get a number close to that. So 34 into 9. Let's try. 9 fours are 36, carry 3. 9 threes are 27 plus 3, 30. Yes, we can use this. So 34 into 9 is 306 minus 9 minus 6 is 3. 2 minus 0 is 2. So bring down the next number, 238. Now let's multiply 34 into 7 and see. 7 fours are 28, carry 2. 7 threes are 21, 22, 23. So we've got 238. So that is 7. So 238 minus. So now we've got our quotient. What is our answer? 4.97. So this is our final answer. Fourth sum, here also I have division of a decimal number by a decimal number. So our divisor is a decimal number. We have to change it to a whole number. So let's write it as a fraction. So here we get 0.54 divided by 0.006. Now the denominator, that is the divisor, has to become a whole number. That means it should become 6. So the point has to move 1, 2, 3 places. Only then it can become 6. So if it has to move 3 places, I should multiply by 1000 because 1000 has 3 zeros. So multiply this also by 1000. So here the point will move 1, 2 and one more place. So I put a 0. So what do I get now? What is my new question? My new question is 540.0 or simply 540 divided by 6.0 or 6. So let's do this. Now this is normal division of whole numbers. 6 nines are 54 minus 0. So I've got my answer. The quotient is my answer and that is 90. So this is how we do division when your divisor is not a whole number. Question 12. Divide by 10, 100 and 1000. So take this number 64.52 and first divide it by 10. When you multiply, remember we move the point to the right. When you divide, you move the point to the left. So 1, 0, the point moves one place to the left and goes there. So now what's our answer? 6.452. Now let's take 64.52 and divide it by 100 this time. So 100 has 2 zeros. The point will move 2 places to the left. 1, 2 and the point will come there. So what is our answer now? 0.6452. Now let's divide 64.52 by 1000 this time. So 1000 has 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. So the point moves 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3 places and then we write the point. So we fill in this with a 0 and since there's no number before that, this is also 0. So what's the final answer? 0.0642. So we've got our answers here. Question 13. This is evaluate. So as you can see, I can see minus, I can see brackets, I can see multiplication. So whenever there are many operations, immediately think of BODMAS. This will tell you which one you must do first. So according to this, we should do brackets first. And I can see brackets here. So we need to work that out. So in brackets, what do we have? 9 into 0.4. Isn't it? Now ignore the point and multiply 9 into 4. 9 fours are 36. Now go back to the question. There is one decimal place. So your answer also should have one decimal place. So that is 3.6. So what do we have here now? 4.3 minus 3.6. So let's do that subtraction here itself. 4.3 minus 3.6. So here, since 3 is smaller, we're going to borrow. So this becomes 13.6. 13 minus 6. 13 minus 6 is 7. There's a point here, 0. So what do we get as our final answer? 0.7. So this is our final answer. Question 2. Here also we have many operations. We have 24 minus 4.2. Then we have division here, addition here, and multiplication. So what is the order that we need to follow? So let's write down the order in which we need to do this. BODMAS. So brackets has to be done first. Since we don't have brackets, let's go to the next letter O. O also we don't have. Now D, division has to be done next. Now we have division here. 4.2 divided by 6. Now let's do that. 4.2 divided by 6. So that will be normal division. Normal division. 4 is small, so I'll put a 0 and carry this point on top. 4.2, we'll take it as 42 now. 6 sevens are 42. So I've got 0.7. So here this will be 24 minus 0.7 plus 7.5 into 3. So now let's go back to BODMAS and see what we have to do after division. So we finished division. So the next one is multiplication. So let's do multiplication, that is 7.5 into 3. So 7.5 into 3. Let's ignore the point and multiply 75 into 3. 3 5s are 15, carry 1. 3 7s are 21 plus 1, 22. Now go back to the question. Here there is one decimal place. So here also I'll put one decimal place. So now let's continue here. What do we have? 24 minus 0.7 plus 22.5. So now we finished with multiplication also. So here we finished this. Now what is left is addition and subtraction. So according to BODMAS, we have to do addition next. So addition means we have to take the numbers with the plus sign. So I'm going to add up 24 and 22.5. So we need to add up 24 plus 22.5. So put a point here and make them like decimals. Now add it up. 5, 4 plus 2 is 6, 2 plus 2 is 4. So we finished our addition here. So this becomes 46.5 minus 0.7. So let's do that. 46.5 minus 0.7. So here let's borrow now. 5, 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. Now 5 and 4. So what do we have? 45.8. So we've got 45.8, which is our final answer. So with this, we come to the end of our first revision in decimal fractions. Thank you, children.